Apple Bodemer, AppleBodemer. Well, sunscreen is really important because any sort of tan or burn that you get is really evidence that your DNA is getting damaged in the skin cells, and that can lead to skin cancer down the road. Yeah, 5 sunburns in childhood or adolescence can double a person's risk of melanoma, and just 1 blistering sunburn in that time frame between childhood and adolescence can also double the risk of developing melanoma. Yeah, melanoma is the deadly skin cancer that we see regularly. Yeah, so the other types of skin cancer that we see on a really regular basis are basal cell and squamous cell. We typically lump these as non-melanoma type skin cancers. And while they can be disfiguring and really a nuisance, they really tend not to be very life-threatening unless your immune system is compromised, such as if you've had a transplant and take medication to shut your immune system down, or for other reasons your immune system isn't functioning adequately. Well, you definitely want to look at the front of the label, and it should say broad spectrum. It should say that it protects against both UVA and UVB. You'll also want to look for something that's an SPF of 30 or higher. I tend not to be really crazy about the ultra high SPFs because they really don't add a whole lot of extra sun protection. Once you get to the SPF of 30, that does a really good job of covering you. Regardless of the SPF, you're going to need to reapply frequently. So you want to see that SPF of 30 or higher, the broad spectrum, and then you'll also want to think about what are your activities. Sometimes you'll want, if you're kind of out doing water sports, you might want something that's water resistant. Certainly you'll also have to reapply. It doesn't mean that once you put it on once, if you go in the pool, you can just stay in the pool all day and not reapply, because anytime you towel off or wipe your skin off, that sunscreen is getting wiped off as well. So, but if you are going to be doing outdoor sports and a lot of sweating, you'll want something that's going to stick on the skin a little bit more. About every 2 hours and after getting wet. So if you get in the pool and go for a swim, come out, towel off, even if you're only in the pool for 15 minutes, that sunscreen is going right to your towel. So once you get out of the water, you dry off, you want to put that sunscreen right back on again before you go lay out in the sun. In order to adequately cover yourself and protect yourself from the UV exposure, about a palmful should cover a body in a bathing suit. And that's not just a smear on the palm, that's a palmful, so about an ounce for an adult. Kids obviously have smaller palms, they have smaller bodies too. So that's a really good rule of thumb. Your sun protection program should include avoiding the midday sun. So trying to keep your activities either before 10 a.m. or after about between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, depending on where you're living. You also want to seek shade when you can, remembering that the sun will reflect off of water and sand or anything metal. So if you're on a boat, even if you're wearing a hat, you're going to be getting some reflection off of that surface. Wearing wide-rimmed hats is also a really important way to help protect yourself from the sun. Sunglasses with a wide lens will help protect the delicate skin around the eyes. And then the UPF clothing. Often this will be UPF rated at a 50, and that means that only 1/50th of the UV radiation that kind of hits that fabric is going to actually get through to your skin, even when it's wet. So those types of clothes can be really helpful. If those types of clothes aren't available, any clothes that cover your skin can help protect from the sun a little bit at least. If you can hold it up to the light and you can see light coming through, that's an indication of about how much sun is getting through as well. So very dense dark denim is really going to block that sun and you're not going to get any exposure, whereas a sheer silk or rayon shirt that you can see right through won't really protect you very much. When you're outdoors, make sure that you think about the fact that UV radiation is a known human carcinogen, and a lot of times the effects aren't seen right away in terms of skin cancer risk. But if you're outside getting burned or tanned on a regular basis, that is setting you up for increased rates of aging as you get older, as well as skin cancer.